Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's Scholarship Tracks live session. I am Karina Shah and I work as the lead research at Scholarship Track. And I'm the host for today's session. I apologize for the delay. And I have a very special guest with us today, Steven. He is a software engineer at Google, and he's going to talk about optimized learning, how to solve coding questions, and practicing algorithms with us today. Welcome to the live session, Steven.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure. I grew up in a small town in Hilo. I literally can drive from one end to the other in about 10 minutes, going at like a slow speed too. One way in, one way out kind of town. And yeah, as soon as I graduated, I really didn't know what is that I want to do. So I joined the military, got to like travel the world. Like it really opened up my eyes to, yeah, how big the world is. And I think like from there, just like my mind expanded and never wanted to stop growing. I always wanted to like find out new things. And like try to make a bigger impact on the world. So it still took me a bit of time to figure out what I wanted to do, in which that like I explored different areas from real estate, entrepreneurship, hospitality. But then it wasn't until I landed up with a group of software engineers, being a complete nerd. I played board games with them, and they just like drew me into their culture. I found it so fascinating how they love to like help out each other out. They had like the most like stimulating conversations with each other. So I decided to try it out, teach myself for a bit. I saw myself doing it on a daily basis, and then I decided to like dive right in. And I couldn't have wished for a better life and better career. Such a great opportunity. So.
Well, that's great. It's lovely knowing about your journey till here. Now he's going to tell you and share with you all few advices and talk about it. And after that, we'll be having a live session of Q question and answer. He'll be answering all of your questions from the viewers. So everybody, please start asking the questions right away. And I think, Steven, you can take it from here.
Sure. So yeah, as far as like, I think the topic of today is to like my experience on learning how is it to learn. The way that I basically like to address it is that I like to create these large overscoping goals and break them down into like smaller bit-sized pieces. And one of the difficult things about that portion is that how is it that I can gain clarity of what these like bit-sized pieces are? And many other times I will start off like in a complete blurry, foggy, unclear vision of what that is, and just kind of like going by trial and error. That is one way to do it, learning by experience. And then the other way in which that I found like, which is great, is like seeking mentorship, seeking advice from people who have gone down the path that I wanted to go and accomplish what is that I want to achieve. So yeah, like what I recommend is like definitely don't allow like overthinking and perfection to stop the journey and the path, in which that like no matter what it is that you do, it's going to build you up as a person somewhere down the line in the future. One of the great things that I've heard from some of the most brilliant individuals is that every single bit of experience or opportunity or piece of information that is out there plays a part in someone's life. as long as you are able to like see the value in it. And so yeah, so that after you break down things into bite-sized chunks and create small goals, like one of the things that you will probably want to do is start to create some kind of metric system to basically figure out on whether or not you are obtaining or moving towards the goal in which is that you are trying to achieve. And the reason why this part is so important is because so many people, what is that they're doing is that they're constantly like spinning the wheels and not gaining any traction. I've had this happen to me many a times, and then like that at that point is where is it that like I almost like give up, right? And then that is where like going back around and like seeking clarity from people that have done it, or maybe even like what's even better is getting a personal coach in which that can actually like make visible what is it that you're like not doing so great on, and poke holes and what is there to do. I know it's quite tough to receive criticism for some, but then like criticism is what is it that at least that I feel has made me a stronger person and a better person overall, is just to like finding out like where these like areas in which that I can fill to like optimize my life, my understanding, just like create me a better person overall. And then so after like you take those actions, create metrics, like what like then like of course is it that you're most likely gonna achieve your goal. But then the part that I feel that sometimes is ignored, my roommate, so some of the things that like I feel that is ignored is the portion that that comes with like self-care, and that goes with taking breaks, that goes with feelings, a lot of the things that isn't as looked up upon in society currently. A lot of society, they recognize those people who are so determined that they that if they could work 24 hours, that is the type of person that is the person that I want to be, or I want to be like, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And the person that is like so disciplined and almost robotic, that's the person that that I can rely on, and I want to achieve to be. But there, I feel like there is a part that at least for me, what I found that has worked is the part of realizing that I am human, that I have these underlying needs, that also is a part in which that fuels me. And what I mean by that is that I need to have this sense of achievement, and by doing so, that is going to fuel me more to in the future. So what is that I currently do is in the very morning or in the week, I do this on a daily as well as weekly, as well as monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. Is that like I set up intentions on what is it that I want my day, week, month, quarter, year to be like, and like and in the beginning of that is what is it that I ask myself, if today were to have been an amazing day, an awesome day, what would I feel good about at the end of the day to have accomplished? And the reason why I do such a thing, and is why it's worth the like 10-15 minutes of it, is that at the end of the day, like I actually get to like self-reflect and recognize and give myself credit for what is it I have done. There's some people are naturally born to like, be very present in the moment, but like, for people like me, which is all that loves taking action, I need that 10 minutes to like stop and reflect on what I give myself credit for. I think my family, or at least like myself, I grew up in a very if you ever heard of like the samurai type of discipline, very like almost like robotic type of style, no emotion, and like I realized that, at least for myself, I get caught up in that type of mindset, and um and almost like forget about that portion about me. And if you want to like increase your also like related value of why it's so important to also like realize the the benefit of being in touch with your human or like emotional side, is that like I feel that is kind of the trend overall in which that our society is coming to, right? Like that more and more people that you work with, more people in which that you might lead in the future, they value that type of human and emotional side. A person that is able to like accept their themselves and others in their wholeness, if that makes any sense. So and what I mean by wholeness is not trying to like cut off a piece of them, which is what I was basically trying to do before in my life. I was always kind of like, like I should not take any breaks. I should not have any feelings. I should just like stay disciplined and stay on the grind, and this is the way that it works. But it really wasn't until like I actually was able to like be like, oh, it's okay to have feeling, take a moment, all right, now let's move. And yeah, I found that way more effective, at least for me. So yeah.
Those were a few great advices, very informative. Thank you so much. I would personally like to ask you, do you have any particular tips for the beginners or anything?
For beginners, that's really difficult because it depends on what goals are they trying to achieve. Yeah. Well, in what area, I guess, is the question. Back to you.
I meant with coding and programming.
Oh, coding and programming. Yeah, I think like that's really hard. Okay, so I know that there's many different stages in like a junior engineer's journey. There's at least the two categories that I can think of right now off the top of my head is that there's the engineer that doesn't really know what they want to do. They just enjoy it, or this is what they're doing. I don't know if everybody enjoys it as much as I do. I'm gonna guess because I'm just gonna say that everybody enjoys it as much as I do, even though if that's completely not true. But yeah, like of course, like there's those people that don't know what is that they want to do. They're just like kind of exploring. They're just like in the field. They're like, this is what their friends are doing or their parents are making them do. Yeah, so like, that there's those people that don't really have like a long-term goal. But I would really like kind of suggest, at least for those people that don't know what is that they want to do, is to make it a goal to find out what that bigger overarching goal is. And by I find another way of thinking of it is that, like, what is my 10x goal? What is my 100x goal? The one thing that I've been learning from a lot of successful people is that the larger that their goal is, and not in just terms of just size, money, or like impact, like also in terms of time as well, is that one dimension in that, like, I felt that some at least like for me wise, I was lacking. There are people who have like goals that expand further than their lifetime. How is this going to impact thousands of years past me? So yeah, like I actually like set aside 2 hours every Sunday just to like try and like clarify my goal, as well as like to like stretch myself to push that to like, how is it that this can be a bigger impact? How is it that this can grow to a longer time span, et cetera, et cetera. So for those people who are like currently unsure of, or don't even like have like a 1 month goal, you know, like just try to like set some time up to like set a goal, to create a goal. And then for those that are like going into the field of software engineering, and well, you know, like pursuing different fields, then that's where is it that I would suggest taking those actions that I suggested, well, which was like measuring, like keeping track, evaluating, revisiting, making modifications, and then on like you know, in partnership with that, like try to seek as much clarity as possible. Seeking clarity could come from mentors, like how as I said, but then like seeking clarity can be from, you know, other resources as well. It could be from blogs, it could be from, you know, online sources, books, et cetera, et cetera. It can come from experience, but I don't feel, I feel that experience has now taken too much weight onto society. Experience does have its place, and it does have this area, ways in which that it grows individuals. But like, there's also when with comes experience, sometimes the learnings from the experience can be filtered through a bias filter, and then sometimes, you know, could be almost like blinding, or like very narrow visioned. And that's a lot of the reason why, like, I have these groups of friends that have different ways of thinking, and they I absolutely love it when they like poke holes into my thinking, and if they don't, then I try to find other groups of individuals that will, because it's good to have that kind of like wider view, and establish like these connections between different information, and that also like comes very creative inspiration, and that it has a lot of value. You don't want to be another, you know, person, or I don't know, just another person that everybody else is, right? You kind of want to be your own individual, create your own creative thoughts, and that is only done by like you're having these types of moments of thinking, or yeah, your own like creative, like recipes. Like I take like information as like ingredients of recipes to a pot that you can like create your own product or theories and very cool things, to do. So yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for answering my question. That was informative. I would also like to ask, do you have any resources or platforms in mind that you would use to grow as a coder or just to practice more and more problems?
Well, like for I I I have a very strong I really enjoy LeetCode. And that's where a lot of people like go like draw towards. I mean, but then there's other like applications that can do the same thing, which is like Code Wars as well as Blindly. Blindly is great because it allows that collaborative environment. Blindly.io is the website. If you are that type of like collaborative person, you can actually like pair program through a coding challenge with a person, which is great for some people. The only reason why for me, and this is coming from my own like competitive value, if you're not a competitive person, I don't think that LeetCode is very much for you. But like what drew me to LeetCode is that I was like always like pounded with a stick from my family. Like you have to be the 100%. You need to be the best. And so like with that drilled inside of me, what LeetCode gives is it gives you a ranking at the very end of your submission. So it like I was always like driven to become that 100%, and I would like always like just tweak my code. If it didn't run correctly, I'll just tweak my code some more, and then like and after like maybe 4 or 5 submissions, I would just be like, forget it. I'm gonna grab their code, paste it in. Okay, now why is it that happened? And it was just like that competitive nature that like really inspired me to like really learn the material. And the other cool thing about it is that like I got to go into the discussions. And because I really want to become that person that submitted 100% all the time. Like I got to go into the discussions, and then I got to like see the trade-offs of different data structures, different algorithms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it was completely just like a competitive nature that drove me to like learn all this stuff. But yeah, I coming to think about it now. Well, what another recommendation is that I could give as far as like learning goes in the preparation stage is that if you don't have a strong motivation in the area in which that you're pursuing, like try to actually like take some time to build up that motivation. There is a process in which that you can do that. I have learned it from the Dr. Demartini. He's a inspirational leader, but basically what it comes down to is a like study of axiology, which is a study of human values, and that everyone has a set of human values in which that they want to pursue. And the way that you can do that, like say for instance that your value is family, or your value is friends, or your value is shopping, like completely un-engineering related, is that what you would do is that you would basically list out all the reasons why learning something will actually support that upper tier value, or even like other things, like what are the other benefits that are going to be able to be supported by this action, or this like this training in which that you're going through. And then by doing so, you're going to be a lot more effective in terms of your practice sessions. You're going to gain more. You're going to notice your focus and drive your attention. Also, just the little details that you would like usually miss is going to be like seen in I sorry, that's a bad sentence, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're just going to be able to see it, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah.
Absolutely. I totally relate to that. After all, it's your interest and passion that leads you into it. So yeah. Do you have any more advices that you would like to share? After that, we'll just start taking the questions from the viewers. Any last advices?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. It's just that like for whatever questions are going to be about to be come up, I am gonna of course like respect my company's privacy and everything. So I just want to make sure that the expectations are kept.
Sure. So we'll start with our first question.
Per day, well, I was working a full-time job during that time. So after work, I would study for 4 hours after work. And then, yeah, and during the weekend, I would put in about 12 to 16 hours towards it. So, yeah. I think I would put in about like 30 to 40 extra hours after work. Yeah. Suggest what are your tips you would suggest to crack the internship interview at Google? I'm really not sure about the internship track, to be honest. Though, just from what is that I've gathered prior to actually getting the interview, is that Google at least is very algorithm heavy. And this also goes for like a lot of the bigger tech companies, is that they're very algorithm heavy. If you are looking for like specific questions, I mean, there's you can go on LeetCode and you can search for those types of questions as well. And there's a few other sites that like list down the actual questions that interviewees have received. Interviewers receive. Anyways, the people who have interviewed there. I know that for different positions they do ask different questions. So yeah, you just kind of need to like search for the position that you're trying to go towards. And what I mean by that is like if you're going to web-based, they'll I believe that they're gonna ask you not only algorithm questions, but they're gonna ask you like some web-based questions as well. I'm not educated in that area, so my honest what wisdom I'm giving you is not going to be very clear there, and I would seek more clarity. So, work-life balance at Google so far, it is great. I love it. Yeah, it's such an amazing company. I have been a part of other companies, and one of which I felt like as though I was just like a absolute. I was treated as though I was a machine. I never got to explore anything that was like I was passionate about. So yeah, just the fact that I get to learn, I get to take part in be amongst amazing engineers, amazing technology. It's great. One of my passions obviously is learning. So the part that I absolutely love about Google is that they support people's progression and people's learning, and that goes even areas outside of um, engineering or like career related. They do support career related stuff more, though they do also support financially, as well as give people the time to explore their other passions as well outside. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's great for company. How to get a referral? Ask. No, but yeah, I mean, like that's not a easy question. At least for me, I'll just say it in terms of me. Like, what is it that draws me to refer somebody? Is like that that I don't I won't give a referral to someone who just asked me a referral. Like I it's at least for me wise, it's part of my own like integrity that if I'm going to refer someone, I have to like actually like realize the value that they're going to bring to the team, to the company. I know that that's a bit harsh because everyone needs to start at a certain place, but the way that you can actually like show that to me, because I have given referrals to people, is like showing your activity that you've been doing, showing that your desire to learn, your desire in the field, the desire to just like be a better person in general. It doesn't even necessarily need to be in the field of engineering. I like how as I said, I feel that learning outside of an area still affects an area as well. Everything's like kind of like related, right? And like that will bring value to the team. So like what is it that I recommend some of the people that have come to me for advice is that like show your activity, show what is that you're learning, shows how is it that you're growing, show that you are like just striving to like be a better person online, usually on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where I'm at, but I mean there's other places like Twitter as well. And at least for me, that's what resonates with me. And like but I know that there's just certain people out there that like are whatchamacallit, that will give out referrals to anyone that they feel wants it. So you can probably just message them. I think so. I'm not a recruiter, so I can't give you like any real advice. I know that there's certain people who have gotten a referral and haven't gotten any traction with it. So I would think it does, but I don't have any firm data on it or any statistics. Oh, work until I die. To be honest, I just really got into this obsession and this competitive nature of like mastering down algorithms and becoming the. I created this like large goal of becoming like leader in the tech industry. And so like part of it was, you know, being amongst like the best engineers in the world. And like from what is that I've gathered, you know, I chunked that down into you know, that being a part of a large tech industry. And I found like from talking to a lot of engineers that Google has like one of the best engineering teams in the world. So yeah, and so how is it that I got found out is the best way to get into Google is, you know, studying algorithms. Like how is it that a lot of people know out there in the industry, and then as well as studying my system design. So yeah, and that just like grew my obsession to like put in the time um, to, that I did, even while still working as a software engineer, to get into it. Prior to software engineering, I basically spent 14 hours a day just cramming. 12 hours I was actually studying towards the tech area. 2 hours I was putting towards like any types of applications. So I don't know if this is what worries that you are, what stage in your life is that you are. You might be currently have solely like looking for a job right now. So if this is the stage you are, what is that I did is for 2 hours in the morning, do any kind of networking, which whether or not emails, coffees, etc., etc. For 12 hours, I would just study whatever it is. I was trying to get as many challenges as possible from different companies, so that I would get to like have holes poked into my knowledge, find out my weaknesses. That's part of the practice of deliberate practice, is find out where your weaknesses are and get them exposed and like take them on as challenges. And so that's what I did for 12 hours. The last hour of the day, when my brain is actually like so fried, I would like do any types of applications, because what I found is like the best way to schedule a day is like any types of mental exhaustive type of work. Try to put that at the beginning of the day, and then any type of not so taxing work, try to put at the end. For me, wise, obviously, like I would much rather be behind a computer than to be networking. Much more introverted than anything, so that's the reason why I put my in networking in the beginning, because it's more taxing than doing an algorithm for me. So yeah, cool.
Those were a few great advices. Thank you for answering all the questions. And thank you everyone for joining us today. It was a great session. And please make sure to join our next sessions as well. And thank you, Steven, for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.